Welcome to the Tech Unravel studio. Alright guys, so if you've seen my previous video, you know that most likely was my last video in the old studio, the old desk that I've been using for the past couple of years. Now we are moving to a new home and also we will have a new studio, and most likely this will be the main shot that you will see in most of my videos. This room is quite big and I'll have a couple of frames here and there. Right behind the camera I will have my full retro corner with all my consoles, but this will be the main frame, the main shots, and this will be the desk where I will be sitting on and I'll do most of my videos. This will be the frame behind me and I'll have to add a couple of props. You already see a couple of them. Most likely I will change a lot of here, so there is still some work to be done, but we'll get there. But I wanted to do a quick unboxing video, and what better opportunity than to do the ROG Ally X, which just came out recently, but for me it came yesterday, and we will do a quick unboxing of that console because it means so much to me and to this channel. So without further ado, let's just do a quick video in the new Tech Unravel studio. So there we have it, the ROG Ally X. As I said in a lot of my videos, this is one of my favorite consoles out there. I'm not sure if I'll actually keep this one. Time will tell. We'll have to see after I have my experience with it and after I do my full reviews and compare it with the original one. As a first impression, if you already have an ROG Ally, I don't think it will be worth the upgrade, as much as this has quite a bit of improvements compared with the original one. But we will see. So, inside the box, we already can see the new ROG Ally X. We'll put this to the side. And what else? I was looking for the quick stand, but I will not open that one. Then what else we have over here? So only the manuals and the new power brick, which is a 60-watt one. I'll put on the screen if this is different from the original one, because to be honest, I don't even remember. And that's pretty much it. Finally get the console itself. And as you know, this time around, this comes in black. I actually preferred the old white one. And if you ask me if I prefer black or white when it comes to consoles, I would have tended to say black. But I just noticed that more recently I'm getting more and more consoles in white. I have the PS5, which is in white, the Xbox Series S, the ROG Ally, the Nintendo Switch OLED, which has the white Joy-Cons, and not only. So I quite prefer the white and black look nowadays. As a first impression, I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but I do feel like the plastic of it, it's made out of less premium material. It may be just my impression, but that's not a big deal. It's not that different, but I can already notice the shape here around the corners, even though it didn't bother me, and a lot of people were saying that they were feeling the rough edges on the ROG Ally. For me, that wasn't an issue, but yeah, now I see it, I do prefer this way around. It does have a slightly different shape all around, so they have improved quite a lot when it comes to ergonomics, and I appreciate that even with the whole backlash they got, Asus did listen to the customers, and getting all this improvement in the new ROG Ally X, in the short time they've done it, I think it's quite cool of them. Another thing that I do notice, I am talking about the joysticks on the new X, and the ones on the original ROG Ally, I really hate because they feel too soft for me. I always said that I do prefer other ones, like specifically the ones from the Steam Deck. Whenever I go back to it, I love those joysticks. But this time around, these are really nice. So again, a really good improvement, especially for me. This was actually one of the biggest downsides for me. I know that we have a better battery as well, and that one is a huge upgrade, especially since the original one was lacking that capability. I mean, you can barely play any AAA games. But to be honest, if you've seen other videos that I made in the past, I did mention that I don't really want to take consoles like the ROG Ally anymore on my travels because they can get quite heavy and I tend to game less and less whenever I'm traveling, so at least that's a good sign. But that's the only reason why I would say I need better battery life. I know this is a huge deal, having a good battery life, and I prefer to have one, But if I already have the original ROG Ally and I usually play it on the couch where I have a charger either way, that part wasn't a big deal for me. I know it's a huge deal for maybe 90% of you, and I agree. But for me, at least it wasn't that a big of deal. So that was okay with this one. But other than that, actually, I do have my original one, which I took from home, especially for this video. So there you go. These are the two consoles right next to each other. And I still feel like this plastic, it's a bit better than the new Ally X. I don't know if that's just my opinion or not. The buttons have been moved slightly, as you can see over here, based on the round edges over here. And the D-pad position, it's a bit changed as well. And also now we have this more directional D-pad compared to the original one. Even though I do prefer, again, the plastic on the original one. But the joysticks, I mean, it's a huge difference. These still feel too soft for me, and they have too much travel as well. So having that much travel added to the mushiness of it, it doesn't really feel that great for me. Other than that, well, I don't have a scale with me, sorry, but I know that this is just a bit heavier than the original one, but not by much, because they also have changed the internals, so it doesn't feel that much different. Then we do have the changes on the top. First of all, we now have the SD card slot, which has been moved to a different position, because you know the issues that we got with the original ones. And to be honest, I didn't even put one single SD card in the original one just because I didn't want to burn them. I still have the original 512 SSD inside this one. It's quite hard to find the 2230 format SSD, which the original one had, but the new one, we finally moved to 2280, so the more standard one, which I already have a bunch of in my house. So I can simply swap out that one. And that's an amazing improvement, to be honest. This one already comes with 1 GB of storage, so already a big improvement. Other than that, the headphone jack has been moved as well, the power button as well, even the volume, they do feel the same, but the overall placement have been changed. Now, as you can see on the original one, we had the dedicated external GPU port, which is a proprietary one from Asus. And now that's not the case anymore. That's why we now have two USB-C Thunderbolt 4, so we can plug in any external GPU units. So that's a really big deal if you're the type of guy who actually use that one. It can be pretty expensive. I cannot justify the money. Another improvement for some and even for me are the back buttons. As you can see, these are a lot smaller, so I like the new placement. Yeah, this design also comes with some changes right here on the texture. This does remind me of the DualSense controller for the PS5, which has this PS logo on it, and this one has the ROG logo branding on it. Also, we do have some changes when it comes to the triggers. As you can see, both the 1 and 2 buttons have changed. The L1, for example, it is a tad bigger, but now the LT and RT ones are a lot bigger, and they do really feel nice pressing them. So that's a nice touch. So what I like about this whole ROG Ally X concept is that Asus, even though they had a lot of backlash, and I agree with everything that was said about them, especially with the warranty, breaking the original ones, the SD ones. So quite a few issues with the original ROG Ally, even though it's still one of my favorite ones. But at first they didn't want to confess with all these negative aspects, and they tried to put it on the users. But with the power of YouTube and so many out there complained about this, they finally come around, and hopefully they will stick to this idea, because they don't really have a good history when it comes to customer support. But now they have addressed a lot of them, and with the ROG Ally X, we get all these differences, improvements, just because of the feedback that we got from the users when it comes to the original one. And even for the original ROG Ally, they claim that they listened to the customers, and now they have extended that part with 1 extra year. Other than that, I'm not expecting a really big difference. This is still the same ROG Ally in the end, the same processor. Maybe the ROG Ally 2 will be the one to get, and probably that's why I'm still struggling if I should actually keep this one. I cannot say for now. I'll have to test this out a bit more and I'll play around with it, and I'll have a full dedicated review about the ROG Ally X, also differences when it comes to the original one, the type of accessories are still compatible or not when it comes to the new shape. Actually, I only have the original ROG Ally case, so I am expecting this should still work. So of course, because the shape is not that different and this is not a snug case, it should fit the ROG Ally X perfectly. If you made it this far, that means that maybe the sound is not that horrible. But for now, this will have to do. Let me know down in the comments what ideas you have for this studio, even though I didn't show you too much about it. But at least even with this current setup, the most you will see whenever I'm doing these videos. If you have any ideas what I should store or some dedicated lights, let me know down in the comments. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and welcome to the new studio. This is Silviu, and for the first time in the new studio, this is the Tech Unravel, and I'll catch you in the next one.